What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode, another week of the What the Puck podcast, the final episode of the regular season, baby. Gunk, we are back. Playoffs start
Yes,
up on
sir.
Saturday, but we still got
Yep.
regular season action to talk about. The Devils
Yes.
played last night against
hmm
Detroit. You and the fam were at the game.
Yes.
You have your daughter Maddie with you. If you want to bring her on real quick, we could talk about
Yep. Absolutely.
the game. If she
That,
doesn't want to be on camera, that's totally
yep.
fine. She
You
could
want to be on
talk.
camera? Okay, you can just talk then.
That's fine. Yeah, if she
You'll be
doesn't
over
want to be
here.
on camera, that's more than fine. She
That's
could
fine.
talk. But yeah, you guys were at the game.
Yes.
Rough game for the Devils. 5-2 loss at home to end the season. You end the season with 91 points, 42, 33, and 7 record, third in the Metro Division. But let's talk about the game. I watched a little bit of the third period and I saw Dylan Larkin's goal to make it 3-0.
Right.
And that's where I kind of was just like, all right, this game feels over. So
And
if you want to
I
give
think
me
the rest
your
of,
thoughts.
I was gonna say I think the rest of the building kind of thought that at the time. They kind of jumped up and was like, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. The refs did suck, as you can hear from the background. The refs suck, which of course you're gonna get. 3-0. Again, it was hard to examine this as a game just because of nobody was playing last night, and
So now
it was like,
I have
I mean,
a
a
question
lot.
on
I
the
mean,
refs thing because
sure, go for it.
I saw something. I saw a call that was made that did not make sense, and it went in the Devils' favor. And I want to see your reasoning on it.
Okay.
When the Detroit player in the third period was going to make a play to break in on Dawes, and Dumoulin interferes with him, and the
Yes.
Detroit player gets called for interference. I'm
Yes.
confused.
Well, that was also probably a little bit it was a little after the one really bad call they missed. I mean, I think it was the one in the corner, and it was clearly a hold penalty on Detroit, and with the stick. Yes, see,
Mm.
we remember it. The one with the stick, it was clearly a hold, and there was no call. So the arena's already up in arms with that, because again, they're trailing, we're behind, and again, the building just felt, the air come out of it, and
Uh,
like I said,
Makeup call
so
territory. I see. We're in makeup call land.
totally makeup call land, because they were turning on them big time. I don't know if it was heard across the TV, but at the arena, it got a little crazy there. I
I
mean,
didn't
it was nice to
personally
see.
hear it, but I could believe it.
No, it totally, especially in our section, because we did have a couple, a couple alcoholic beverages being partaken in, behind us. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was very loud in our section when it came to the refs. I mean, it was fun. It was super fun though. I mean, like I said, and you know what it is about the NHL, which I really love. You don't have to go to a game and be the fan of an opposite team and have to worry about all the BS. Like, you
Yeah.
could just sit there and just argue back and forth with different fans and stuff, and it's always fun. It's always like lighthearted. It seems, even as, again, we've gone to Rangers Devils games at Prudential before, and yes, it's been, you get a little shit here and there, but again, it's a fun experience. It's one
Yeah,
of those,
because most of the people that, especially for a Rangers Devils game, they mean well and they know we're just trying to have fun. So I
right.
understand it. But yeah, I think it's probably in terms of like the fan stuff, it's fun to be able to just go to a hockey game like that and just enjoy it,
Yep.
regardless of what team you're a fan of. Because even for myself, for example, I go to Devils games all the time,
Right.
and I have no problem cheering for them because I'm just there for hockey.
Right, exactly. And I would feel the same way if I could afford Madison Square Garden tickets. I would feel the same way. I would be very comfortable walking in with my Devils jersey and having fun conversations with especially Rangers fans, because they're always the funnest to have a conversation, as we built our podcast on, basically. So
Pretty much,
pretty much. So but
because it's
yeah,
always flip
that was
flopping
only
the sadness. We play hot
yeah,
potato with the sadness.
exactly. And it was, like I said, the one thing I thought of last night was, like I said, it's just fun. Like I said, even the kids were getting in. There was one guy in front of us with his, Red Wings jersey on, and they were just talking back and forth, getting into it with each other. Oh, we're gonna make the playoffs and you guys didn't, and this game doesn't matter. And it was very interesting. It was very fun to, like I said, interact with other fans, and that's the one thing again I love about the sport is that you can interact with the other team's fans in a fun way.
Exactly. That's what it should be about. You should be there to have fun with everybody. Hockey's for everybody.
Exactly, and as Doc Emmerich always puts, especially every game we go to, they always put it on the board. Yeah, hockey is for everyone, and I personally try to bring new fans in. Like I said, I brought her little friend with her last night. She had a blast. She's never been to a hockey game. I don't even know if she's even seen a hockey game. But just the interaction in the arena and all the stuff going on, I mean, it's just a fun experience, especially like when you go to the last games of the year. It's always one of those fun experiences where you get,
because it feels like the last day of school.
Exactly. Yeah.
It feels like you're ending. It feels like you're ending the school year. I totally get it.
You feel like you should have a yearbook, handed it out to like your friends around there and stuff, trying to get it signed.
Exactly.
Although at one point, and this is just me talking as a Devils fan. Can we get some new alumni, please?
You're not allowed.
I love Bruce Driver. I love Grant Marshall. I finally got my third signature on my hat, as you can see right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I got
go.
I got Kenny Danico like years ago. I got John Madden years ago. And I'm sitting there and I wore it last night. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna wear my old hat. I feel like, just bring a little vibe, bring an old school vibe. Grant Marshall signed and I was like, but I've met them before. Like I've seen them at a couple other Devils functions, and it's the same guys. And I'm just like, we have a lot of 2000s, past that like 2003 championship, teams that were really good, that were solid players, and like they never bring them back. I want some of the new guys to come. I want to meet some of the newer guys
because a lot of the memorable alumni are still kind of playing. Like,
kinda, yeah.
Like, who are you bringing back from the 2000s right now besides Marty or like Travis Zajac?
Not even that. That's a great name. Travis Zajac would be a great name. But right now, the Devils have Brian Boyle and Corey Schneider doing podcasts. Why weren't they out there last night doing some kind of thing? That would have been awesome last night. I would have loved to meet those two guys, man. That would have been a thrill to meet those two guys.
I agree. You know what? I agree with you. Those are legends of the game, let alone Devils legends. So I agree. Bring them over.
That's it. Like I said, they're under. I mean, I don't know if they're under contract with the podcast they do her, but like I said, those two would have been perfect to bring out. Like I said, you could bring the other two out. I love those guys. We were talking. They're always. And that's the one thing. It's great. They always are. They will talk to anybody for anything. I said we saw my Maddie broke her foot. I was talking to Bruce Driver about his friend's daughter breaking her foot in a game and how'd she do it, and we were just talking back and forth, just like a normal conversation, and it was so fantastic. But like I said, just one thing. Let's bring in some newer alumni. That would be great.
Yeah, because pretty soon you'll get Rico on alumni stuff because he'll be retiring soon.
Right.
Like we both said, Travis Zajac, great name, fantastic player.
Andy Green, another captain, great name.
There you go.
Andy Green back. I mean, even on the special days, man, bring Zach back, bring Parise back. I mean,
yeah.
Devils fans have still kind of bitter taste in their mouth about
it. Just
but
wait until you retire, you get Damon Severson celebration day.
Now that's one I don't want. I think that's the one I will avoid.
The sign and trade king, Damon Severson. You don't want to celebrate him and all of his turnovers forever?
Yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, it was, like I said, very fun night. Like I said, FanFest it's always fun in there. Again, the arena always does it well. I mean, we got the Markstrom bobbleheads, which were pretty cool.
Oh, hell yeah, cool. That's sick. Oh, fuck yeah.
And then actually they printed out pretty, actually physical tickets.
Oh, shit. You'd never see that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's dope.
I remember like a couple weeks ago on the website, they had a choice of, two styles. And I guess with Jack being hurt, I guess they went with the players that are playing. So
fair enough.
I mean, when do you see, them giving out physical tickets anymore? I mean,
never.
That was kind of cool. I mean, that's, and a bunch of people didn't want. People didn't want them, so we just took like.
What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you want that?
Well, again, the building wasn't totally full, so there's a couple empty seats in front of us. But yeah, like I said, we grabbed a bunch of those tickets because they were just literally sitting at the seats when you got there. They were in their little cup holders. You just grab your ticket, and it was bonus. So
Oh, oh
again,
yeah.
always a good experience at the Rock. Even you said, I knew what I was walking into when I saw the lineup for last night. I knew what I was walking into.
Exactly.
If they do, if they're gonna do something, they'll do something. If not, it was just a fun experience, and that's what again hockey is all about: fun experience, the great game. Let's build this stuff up.
Damn straight.
Fantastic.
And we are building
So
towards the playoffs.
yes, we are.
But let's talk about one team that's out of the playoffs because we have
Yes,
so much stuff to talk about real quick, and then we could get into a bracket.
yes, sir.
Uh,
Let's do it.
Devils played game 82 last night. The Rangers play game 82 tonight. They play
Nice.
at home against Tampa Bay, and I just need this season to be over. As much as I don't want to watch this game tonight, I'm watching because of Sam. I'm not watching for the team. I'm not watching for the kids. I'm not watching to see if Laviolette gets fired after the game. I could
Right.
not care. This is Sam's last game. He is going to be on my television. The Mets
Oh,
play
absolutely.
tonight. I do not care about them. It is all for Sam tonight.
Absolutely. I totally
Um,
agree.
But we have his replacement, and
Yeah.
it's Kenny Albert. We knew it. We all knew it. We
Well,
all said it.
again, who else would you replace, one of the greatest hockey voices of all time with another classic family, the Alberts. Awesome. Marv Albert was always fantastic. And even doing Rangers games, I mean, he's more known for being, the Knicks broadcaster. He was fantastic sometimes on the Rangers broadcast. I mean, he was fantastic, and I always loved him. I mean, in anything he did, when he did NBA, even when he did the NFL a long time ago on NBC back in the day.
Mm.
I mean, he did a lot of Jets games. I remember. I mean, especially being in the AFC team back then. He did a lot of on NBC, a lot of the Jets games and playoff games and stuff. And Kenny Albert has grown exponentially as a broadcaster. I mean, I remember
He
him
is
when he
the
first
best.
started. Yeah, when he first started, I mean, he was good, but he wasn't as good as he is now. And like I said, the Rangers always come up. Their announcers always top notch guys.
And
He'll be well loved by the fan base, I'm sure.
and it's gonna be fun because Kenny's still gonna be the head play-by-play guy for TNT. So when Kenny's off doing that, the this guy Alex Faust used to call games for Los Angeles for the Kings.
Okay.
Very fun, very electric. I believe he's called Ranger games on MSG in the past, but it's another good option. I mean, I I keep saying it. I miss the days of a hockey game called by John Giannone for the Rangers.
Right.
A lot of the most memorable games that I have from my childhood weren't even Rosen calling them; they were Giannone because he's just. I can remember his call style, and it's fun, and
Hmm.
it just brought me more into a game.
Right.
But Kenny Alex Foss is going to be fun play-by-play guys. Joe Micheletti's still going to be with us, so we still have that.
Mr. Instagram hockey himself. Oh no, it's Valaquette.
No, that's
Valaquette.
Valaquette. That's Valaquette.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I get those two confused when I'm watching their broadcast.
Fair
Sometimes
enough.
I just get their names mixed up. But yeah, Mr. Instagram hockey's still around. So
He is. But
hey,
so the Rangers, one day after getting eliminated by Philly that we talked about last week, go to play the Islanders after our episode, as we had also talked about, and score 9 goals.
which you actually predicted because you literally said that on the last episode. You're like, watch, they're gonna come out and they're just gonna blow the roof off the Islanders, and sure enough, when I saw the score, I literally had to look. I did the old school cartoon like strip the eyes. Like what? I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, what the 9? And I'm like,
9.
I was like, oh my god! I almost texted you that night, like, oh my god, you nailed that fucking
I was
game.
ripping.
Holy
I was
shit.
ripping. I was watching that game because I had worked that night. I had worked overnight into Friday, so I had the game on. And I was just like, you waited all year to have a performance like this. You waited all year, and you do it in game 79 or game 80.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all
The
but
barn has left the
Yeah.
cows left the barn. It is.
yeah, everything's done.
Ooh.
Like the bank burned. We're done.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
all but 2 Rangers forwards had a point. I,
Yes.
take a if you know them, throw them out. If you want to take a crack at it, take a crack at it. You could probably guess one of them.
The Repinator. We love him.
No,
Oh
he
no, that was the last game. I'm sorry. That was the last game. I'm sorry.
Repinator had assists in that game. The
Yes, he
2
did.
Rangers forwards without a point were Chris Kreider
Oh,
and
God.
Sam Carrick, but Sam Carrick is safe.
Yeah.
Sam Carrick is safe. You have nothing to worry about. You're okay.
Yeah, you're
Sa-
fine.
Sam Carrick scored the overtime winner against the Devils. You have you have my heart forever.
There you go. Right.
But Kreider, everybody else, and you were a +1 in this game, so you were on the ice for a goal, did nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh my god, 9. Yeah, 9. It's man, 9 goals. And the funniest part is, Berard scored his first of the night. Wah pulled his goalie, put in a new guy that was making his NHL debut. Berard scored again, and Wah said,
Yeah.
"You know what? I think you're done." What are
Yeah.
we doing? The game was
Really?
lost already. It was 5-1
Oh.
at a certain point.
Talk about almost. It was almost like the Philadelphia situation with their goalie the couple last week too, with their Russian goalie that they literally. I think he just bailed to the KHL, right? I think he just went right back.
I don't
Yeah, no, you got it. It's the Philly story with that too. That he just got torched.
Oh, I
yeah.
gotta go look at that then.
Yeah, the Philly one too. They sent him right back. They were like, he was like, no, I'm going back. But yeah, they threw this kid to the weeds. Oh my God, how do you, especially as Patrick Waugh as one of
goalie. As one of the
right?
best goalies ever.
As one of the best goalies in NHL history, realize what he's doing to this kid. I sometimes he goes off the rails, and it is really fun to watch. But it really, as an Islanders fan, it'd be driving me nuts. Oh,
I would have
God.
gotten up and left. I think if
would-
I was an Islanders fan at that game, I would have gotten up and left.
Seriously. Well, if you're not leaving after 4 or 5, I mean, come on now.
Fair enough, but man,
It is New York, you gotta save yourself on some traffic,
especially from fucking IBS Arena.
Exactly.
But then we moved to Saturday, and the Rangers lose to your first round opponent
Right.
by a lot.
By a lot.
So we're just gonna move on to the game the other night against Florida, and in my mind, that was Game 7 of last year's Eastern Conference Final. We're going to play Edmonton. I don't know what I said at the beginning of the segment saying that we're playing Tampa. No, we're playing at the Garden tonight against Edmonton in Game 1 of the Cup Final. In my mind, I am severely delusional.
That's a little bit of that wacky tobacco you got puffing. You got your own brain set shit. You're living your own reality with that.
But it's games like these that piss me off, Dunk. And you want to know why? It's game 81 of game 80 of 82 games the other night. The Rangers win 5-3 over the defending Stanley Cup champions. That's all cool and well if it wasn't their first multi-goal comeback win of the season.
Yes.
In game 81 of 82.
In a season that has been just lost, and it's not even
It's been lost since November 19th.
November.
19th, the magical day.
They're going for their 3rd win in a row.
No, they can't even because they lost to Carolina. Because they lost to Carolina.
They couldn't even do that.
They can't even do that. I think a lot of people were saying they were trying to stick it to Drury and the coaching staff, and I agree. I think they were just trying to hey, this is what we can do if you just decide to leave us the fuck alone. And it's just like, hey, don't do that. Do that every other game.
Yes,
Please.
exactly.
Every other game, please. But that'll end the Rangers season there because we play tonight, and we'll briefly touch on it next week as we talk more about the playoffs. But
absolutely.
Let us talk about the playoffs. We have the bracket fully set, and Montreal lost the plot.
Yes. They
Uh,
will be playing your Washington Capitals, who is on a roll.
they were supposed to lose. Montreal was supposed to lose. This was
Um,
Columbus's spot.
I can understand, especially with with everything going on this season with the Columbus and everything, and the loss of Johnny Hockey. I mean, you really were pulling. I was pulling for Columbus, and like I said, literally we were looking up last night as as the scoreboard was going, and we see Montreal ahead, and we're like, oh, here we go, Montreal, they're gonna clinch. Although Carolina pulled the Devils, and just nobody played last night for them either. So Montreal, congratulations to them. They're hey Montreal, you finally got a playoff team again. They're, not since the bubble, since
Yeah,
they
no,
made
not
that run
since
in
the
the
bubble.
bubble. Yeah, so, good for them. I mean, team looks really good. Young team. Montreal's future looks really bright. And, it's good to see. It's good for the sport, too. It's one of those original six teams that's good for the sport to have them as competitive, as they are right now.
Exactly, I agree. But you had mentioned that Montreal is going to be playing the Capitals. Let's go over the rest of the bracket. As we know, Devils, Carolina. And
Yep.
then to round out the East with the Atlantic Division teams, we have the Battle of Florida between Tampa and Florida, the Panthers,
Yes.
and the Battle of Ontario with the Leafs and Sens.
Which is going to be a great. I got a feeling it's
That's
gonna
going to be a
series.
battle.
That's gonna be a badass series. I got a feeling I feel like that's gonna go 7. If it doesn't, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think it goes 7, but I think Toronto still has the edge on them.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
filled out a whole bracket earlier before we got on while I was finishing up my notes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I have Toronto making it all the way to the conference final. I think we're having fun this year.
Hey, Toronto fans would be super hyped up. I mean, they need a good run, and
They really do.
They really do. Just a good run, just even to get to the conference finals. I mean, that would
Get some more experience.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely more experience. That's what they need. This team, they need the experience, especially in a Stanley Cup setting. They need the experience, and it looks like the way everything fell for them this year. They might have that chance. Because the battle of Florida with Tampa and Florida is going to be a battle too. That's going to be a great series. If you can play well and get ahead of the Sens, 1-2 games, try to close it out earlier, get a little rest and, set up for that, next round against one of the Florida teams.
Absolutely. But
Yep.
we'll move on then to the West, and we have the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets against the St. Louis Blues.
That's gonna be a good series.
There's gonna be no contest here. It's gonna be Winnipeg in 5 games.
Okay. You think so?
I just think that this Winnipeg Jets team is the most complete we've seen.
Okay.
And I don't really buy into the whole playoff Hellebuck thing.
Right.
So I think Winnipeg is really going to make a run for it. I hate that stupid President's Trophy curse bullshit
Right.
that everybody keeps touting. I think it's just a matter of, does this team have it? And I
Right.
think Winnipeg has it. St. Louis has been on a heater recently. Ever since the Four Nations, they've been the best team in the NHL. But Winnipeg has been the best team in the NHL all season. They didn't need the Four Nations break.
And I feel like Winnipeg needs to come out strong right away in the series. Like,
Absolutely.
It's one of those series, like, if they, again, we go back to the Toronto thing. If they take a game, the first 2 games, and they put St. Louis on the brink, then I feel like they can close it out early. But again, if as past history, if they talk about, playoff Hellebuck, if he gives up, if he gives up the first couple goals in the series and they lose a game, one of these first 2, it's going to be a competitive series. But again, it's one of those, like I said, you got the momentum from St. Louis, like I said, one of the best teams since the Four Nations break. They've been playing really well. Great hire that they hired Montgomery in the middle of the season.
Absolutely.
That's one. He went from being fired to, he's probably going to be a Jack Adams finalist, coming up. So,
yeah,
what the momentum of that is, we'll see. But, I feel like it could be a competitive series. But, again, Winnipeg's really, really strong. I saw them beat the Devils up twice this year, and they looked fantastic in both games. So, like I said, I can agree with you with, this could be a fast series, but again, especially with hockey, you just never know. You just never know what can come down, injuries and all that, You don't know what's going to happen, but yes, I could definitely see Winnipeg advancing in the series.
Well, we talk about momentum and injuries, and we go into the next series, which is Dallas and Colorado. Dallas just activated Tyler Seguin off LTIR yesterday, and Colorado has Landeskog back.
Yes.
So, I mean, Dallas is coming into the playoffs on a 7-game losing streak,
Right.
and they do not have their best defenseman and arguably their best forward.
Right.
So, I feel like Colorado is going to, I don't want to say roll them. It's going to be probably a 6-game series, but I don't think Dallas is going to be able to make it through all of what Colorado has again.
Right.
Especially with the momentum coming off of getting Landeskog back and having all of your guys.
Right. And this is the series that this is the one where I'm gonna throw the shocker. I think Colorado like throttles them. I don't think it goes more than 5. I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't. I think Colorado is with again 2 of the best players in the world, Makar and McKinnon. You're getting your captain back. That's gonna just the thought of him playing after 3 years of building and driving his way back into the league, scoring a goal in the AHL the other day. I mean, just even playing and being on the bench is gonna inject just so much energy in this team. I got a feeling Colorado. I got them going to the final at least this year.
Okay.
I feel like they're gonna make a big run, and like I said, it's one of those things. Like again, when you bring your captain back, you bring emotion into the playoffs. Sometimes it could carry you a long way, and this team is good enough. Before that, without even that, that little extra boost, they're good enough to make a conference final. I feel like with their captain coming back, this is going to be Colorado's time to make a big run, and I feel like was said with Dallas really falling off. With Rannon, they're going to be psyched up about that. You don't think Colorado guys are going to be hyped up to play him? I mean, seriously? He was the one that didn't want to sign the contract. He wanted to get out of Colorado. He didn't want to, they didn't want to pay him. They traded him to the Hurricanes. That debacle didn't work out for them. They retraded him to Dallas in the big deal. I feel like this is going to be a big distraction for him and that Dallas team. A lot of people are going to bring that up in that Dallas locker room about Rantanen coming back. I feel like Colorado's got the momentum. I feel like this is going to be either a sweep or a 5-game series at best.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the second and third Pacific Division teams before we move on to the other matchup. 4th year in a row, Edmonton and Los Angeles. I give it to Edmonton. History repeats itself.
Yeah, I feel like Edmonton will win this series, but this is probably the best Kings' chance to actually beat Edmonton this year. I think they have a chance to win this series, but I feel like again Edmonton's momentum is going to carry them over. From last year, they have the experience of getting to that final, to that literally the 7th game of the final. McDavid's going to be hungry. Draisaitl's going to be hungry. The only question again for the last 2 or 3 years with Edmonton, will Skinner hold up? Will he hold up? Will he not?
He better.
That's what it's going to come down to. Their goaltending, that's what it's coming down to. Skinner plays well. Again, could be a good 5-game series. If he plays mediocre as he, has been, I could see Edmonton going maybe 6-7.
All right. 6-7. And now Vegas, Minnesota. Vegas.
No. Yeah, all day.
We don't even need to discuss.
Get into that. Yeah.
All right, but before we head on out of here, let's build a little bracket real quick.
Yes, sir.
So we can start from the bottom and work our way up. Carolina, New Jersey. Your heart wants to say New Jersey, but what do you want?
My heart wants New Jersey, but I see Carolina in. I'm gonna say 6. My prediction for that series is I think Carolina wins the first game. I think the Devils squeak out a second game. I think it comes back to the Rock 1-1. I feel like it's going to be great momentum in the building. as I know, I've been to playoff games there. It gets loud. It's going to be ruckus at the Rock, and I feel like that could carry the Devils to maybe a 2-1 series, and then the the Hurricanes just momentum and experience just take over, and I think the goal scoring from basically all the lines except for the Heischer line. I think that's, if they don't score, they don't score. I feel like Carolina maybe wins the next probably 2 or 3 and wins it about, I would say, like I said, I would say 6 games.
All right. Washington, Montreal.
Again, I feel like this could be one of those series where no, I'm not. It's gonna be Washington 4 or 5. No, Washington definitely 4 or 5. I feel like
Battle
the Ovi
of
thing
Florida?
is a big thing. Oh, Battle of Florida. This is probably gonna be the best series of probably all 8 of them. I feel like I really love this series. It's 2 hard hitting teams. It's two teams that have been there before. Both teams have won cups. You got 2 great coaches. This is probably the best series of the first round. I feel I'm gonna go with my gut and just say Florida, and definitely a 7-game classic. I'm guessing. I would say.
All right. Let's hope we don't have a repeat of, I want to say it was 2022, 2021,
Okay.
where one of them got swept.
Hmm. Yes. I think 21.
That
Yeah,
sounds right.
Yeah, I think it was after the bubble year.
That sounds right.
I want to say it was after the bubble year.
And then the Battle of Ontario, Toronto and Ottawa.
I'm gonna just go straight, just Toronto in 6.
Toronto in 6. All right. First round for the West, Winnipeg and St. Louis.
Like I said, it could be a momentum. We'll see what Winnipeg comes out with, but I feel Winnipeg. I'm gonna go Winnipeg in 6.
Dallas, Colorado. You said probably Colorado.
Yeah, like I said, I think Colorado's gonna throttle them. 4 or 5. Yeah.
4, 5. Vegas, Minnesota.
Again, 4 or 5 for Vegas. I'm gonna say 5. Just again, I'll give them one win.
And then Edmonton, LA.
I'm gonna say Edmonton. I'm gonna go Edmonton in 6 for this one. I think they can win it in 6.
All right, to the semifinals, we have Toronto and Florida.
Another. This again sounds like a great matchup. I hated to say it for Toronto fans, but if Florida gets past Pampa, there might be another run. Another hard series. I'm gonna go Florida in 7. My gut feels.
I respect that. And then Washington, Carolina.
Another good series. Washington, I think, is too much this year. Carolina, there will be good battles in the Devil series. Kind of, I feel like, especially with, Eric Holler's always around. He's always crapping on the Hurricanes, so I feel like it's gonna be a tough series for them. Washington, again, really good, and the Ovechkin thing is gonna carry over. I'm gonna go Washington, maybe 6.
To the West, Winnipeg and Colorado.
Again, this is, I think, where, again, Colorado shows up. And I think Winnipeg, I know he's stupid President's Trophy Kurtz bull ass, whatever. Colorado wins, I'd say 6.
Vegas and Edmonton, baby.
This is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one.
No?
I feel like Vegas is not the same team as it's been the last few years. They just don't have like the great momentum going into the playoffs like you feel like they've had in, the last couple, maybe like 2-3 years. I'm going to probably go Edmonton. I'm probably going to say I'm going to go 7 because I feel like Vegas can hold their own against them.
Okay. Florida, Washington.
Again,
Who do you have going to the Cup final?
This is interesting because, again, you got Ovechkin, who is going to have all the momentum behind them if he makes this conference final. The country's going to be behind this guy. They want him to win this cup, and I feel like they can do it. I'm going to go Washington. I think Washington makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I think they do it in 6.
All right. And then we have Colorado and Edmonton.
Another great series. Going to be a classic final. My heart goes Colorado. I think Colorado. I think it's either going to go 5 or it's going to go 7. I feel it's one of those weird, one of those weird. It could be a 4-1 series, or it could be, like I said, down to the wire series. But I think Colorado pulls it off either way.
And then who wins the best trophy in sports, Gunk? Send us off with that.
The greatest trophy in sports is gonna absolutely go to
Me.
the Washington Capitals.
In how many games?
I'm gonna say 7. I think they it's go 7. It's gonna be one of those up and down series, and I think with Game 7 in Washington at home with Ovechkin, I feel like they pull it off. Ovechkin pulls off some kind of miracle, does something in that game that just momentum more as one of the GOATs of all time. Washington, I feel like Washington lifts it this year. I got a funny feeling about it.
It's really funny that we went over this bracket the way we did and broke it down, because I have my bracket side by side to this one, and we are almost damn near exact.
Wow. Oh my God.
I didn't write the numbers down and everything for the one for how many games on mine, but I have Toronto beating Ottawa, Florida beating Tampa, Washington beating Montreal, Carolina beating the Devils, Winnipeg beating St. Louis, Colorado over the Stars, Vegas over the Wild, and Edmonton beating the Kings. Where ours starts to falter, I have Toronto against Washington, not Florida, Washington.
Okay.
And I have Winnipeg and Vegas instead of Colorado and Vegas.
Okay. Well, again,
and then we both have Washington winning the cup.
Agree. Like I said, I feel like it's just his year. It's one of the, again, sometimes you just feel a momentum of one player from one team and the greatness of them, and I feel like this is just going to carry over. It's not a fluke that this team went from almost literally making the playoffs last year at game 82 of 82 and then getting throttled by the New York Rangers to where they are right now. I feel like this is a great story. It's one of those just momentum things Washington has this year. They have the grade 8. They have the momentum. I feel like it's this year.
I think so too, but gang, we shall see, and we'll talk about it more as we continue throughout the playoffs. Absolutely. With the What the Puck podcast. This has been another great episode and another fantastic week. Gunk, thank you for being here. Gang, thank you all for being here. We love all the support, and we can't wait to see you all next week when we talk about the first round for the Devils in Carolina, because I don't have to worry about the Rangers anymore. So,
well, if anything happens with the Rangers, we'll make sure we'll cover it next week, though.
Absolutely. We will see what comes up. But this has been another episode of the What the Puck podcast with Nick down here, Gunk up there. Gang, we love you. Gunk, I love you. Gang, keep it light, keep it breezy, keep it easy. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.